for information. We're making this video today to simplify the presidential election and put it in terms that everyone can understand, because we found that it's really hard to understand really what's going on in the presidential election, what happens, who are delegates, who are superdelegates, what the hell is going on. So I'm going to start with a simple definition of the delegates and how they act in regard to our presidential election. A delegate in our election is somebody who speaks on behalf of a state or territory. States or territories with higher populations have more delegates. So that's why you hear that some states are more important in this election and other states are not. A delegate is voted in on the day of the primary election. So every time that a state votes, they actually vote for the delegates that they want to represent the candidate, not the actual candidate.
And kind of branching off what Michaela said, if you've heard of delegates, you've also heard of superdelegates. They are included in the overall count, but contrary to popular belief, and I myself didn't realize this until we started researching for this video, superdelegates don't actually hold any more voting power than regular delegates do. The prefix super actually just means that they have held office or are holding office right now. For example, Bill Clinton, he is considered a superdelegate because, is our former president and a lifelong politician, he has held office. So he qualifies as a superdelegate. But again, they don't actually hold any more power, throughout the voting process than delegates do.
Yes, and superdelegates are not pledged. So obviously we've elected them in before any presidential race was happening. So they're not pledged to any candidate. There is no loyalty to any candidate for a superdelegate because they're already holding office. They're already an elected official. So they kind of decide who they want to go with, and we don't have any say in that.
Mm-hmm. And the count will shift throughout the entire process. Despite what you may hear on the media, the count can change at any point. Superdelegates can decide that they want to, pledge their loyalty to another candidate while they were pledged before to the other one.
So on the Democratic side, the party uses a proportional method for allocating delegates. So if there are two candidates running, the one who wins gets the most delegates and the one who loses also gets some delegates, but it's not a winner takes all like Sam will describe for the Republican Party.
So the Republican Party varies in the way that it actually allows the states to decide which method they would like to use, whether it be the proportional method that the Democratic side uses, or if the states want to use a winner takes all method, then they can do that. So in that case, the candidate who wins a majority of the votes in the delegates, then they will take all of the elected delegates, no matter how slim the margin that they won by.
Yeah.
So, and that varies state by state, so, it's important to look into how your state does that.
Yes. And so right now, currently, in order to win the Democratic primary, a candidate has to have 2,383 delegates. Hillary Clinton currently has 1,758, so 1,758, including superdelegates, and Bernie Sanders has 1,069, 1,069, including superdelegates. There are still 1,938 delegates that are yet to be awarded. So the race is still going strong, and we may see a strong race right up until the end, until we get to the DNC.
Absolutely. And then on the Republican side of things, the candidate needs 1,237 delegates. And so Donald Trump right now has 743, this is including superdelegates, and Ted Cruz has 545, while we're waiting for 854 to be allocated. And so throughout this process, as Michaela mentioned earlier, larger populations hold a larger number of delegates to represent them. So throughout the election, you're going to hear a lot about a couple states. So New York and California, since they're so densely populated, they hold a large number of delegates, and candidates are extremely concern about winning those states. So for instance, New York holds 247 Democratic delegates and 95 Republican delegates, while California holds 548 Democratic delegates and 172 Republican delegates. So again, with such large numbers of delegates at stake here, candidates are extremely concerned about winning New York and California.
Yeah. So once the primaries are over, the winners are announced at both the DNC and the RNC. So it's the Republican National Convention and the Democratic National Convention. And once the primary winners are chosen, then it becomes the race for the White House. Then it's game on. When we go out to vote on Election Day in November, we actually don't vote again directly for who we want to be president. We're actually voting for electors. It's called the Electoral College, which is made up of 538 electors, actually choose who becomes our president. So when we go out to vote, we're voting for the electors who we want to represent who we want to win president. So whoever has the most out of the 538 electors in the Electoral College becomes president. And that is how the United States president gets chosen. It's a very long, tedious process and something that is difficult to understand. And it's probably not a democracy anymore because there's just too many steps involved. And so we don't have what's called a direct democracy. There's just way too many things in the way. So we still do have power, we still do have say, and I think that's something Sam wanted to touch base on.
And I think, and I hear a lot throughout campaigning and everything, I hear a lot from people about how they don't feel like their vote actually matters because our votes do kind of go through this process where it gets watered down and it's kind of left up to these people, and it is in a way left out of our hands. But it is so important to remember that as the people, the government is here to serve us, and so we do have a voice. You have more of a voice.
We put in the Electoral College. We vote for them. We vote for delegates. So it kind of is in our court. It's just a matter of if enough people get up and vote and do those things. So again, that's how the United States president gets chosen. We hope you learned a lot from this video, and we'll be dropping more gems and jewels like this of knowledge for you guys. And in the meantime, you can visit us at www.getinformation.us, and thank you for tuning in. We'll see you soon.